Good morning, my beloved. It is 7:30 Central Time on a Monday. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. I love y'all so much. We are going through my book, Good Grief. I believe we're on chapter 15, the chapter on the regrets of the moment. I want to give a quote from Rainer Maria Rilke. She said this: "A person isn't who they are during the last conversation you had with them. They are who they've been throughout your whole relationship." I cannot tell you the number of people that I have visited with that have incredible hurt and pain and regrets from conversations and things that happened in the last days, weeks, moments of their interaction with their loved ones. And beloved, life is so hard if everything is right. And relationships are difficult, even if everything is as it should be. But you add to that the stress of maybe dementia or the diagnosis of cancer or finding out that finances aren't what they seem to be in the moment. And you add that to the stress that you are under knowing your loved one is soon to pass. There are bound to be opportunities for disappointment, discouragement, conversations that didn't go well. And I'm really asking you to understand what she was saying, that while you might have had a momentary regrets of something that you said, something that you did, that is not the entirety of your relationship with that person, and shouldn't be based on how you feel about the whole encounter. You had a whole lifetime with them where you loved and you laughed and you had incredible times together. Do not let a few minutes or a few moments or a few days even be something that causes you pain from now on. Do not regret the moments that you had that didn't go well. We have so many opportunities to take a look at and remember the fun things that we did, the laughters that we had, the songs that we sang. No matter how much you love somebody, there's bound to be times of disagreements. But it's like judging a whole movie based on a 2 minute scene or judging a whole song based on five notes. We cannot judge our entire life based on a few moments where maybe we made huge mistakes, maybe we were at fault. But when you add the stress of loss and going through moments where they're in pain, maybe they're saying things out of pain that they would never say otherwise. Maybe they're doing things they said they would never do, but in the last days they're not in their right mind. I have helped so many people and I've been around so many individuals who were the caretakers for their loved ones. And for months on end, as their loved one declined, they got angrier and angrier at their children. And they became somebody that they never were in their life. And conversations were had, and they screamed and they hollered. And eventually, that loved one who was taking care of them snapped back or said something they regretted later. And the enemy jumps on that. And I want to encourage you, do not let the regrets of the moment override the memories of the fun things that you did, the times that you had that were so beautiful, because the enemy would love to take the small thing in that one moment and try to base your entire feelings on that one moment, that few weeks, those few months, or whatever it was where things went south. I have dealt with people who, in the last few minutes of their life with their loved one, drugs and alcohol were involved, and their child was yelling at them and was mad, and they were trying to get them to make right choices, the parents were, and the child left angry, shaking his fist, cussing at his folks, and got in a car wreck just a few miles down the road, and it took his life. And the enemy jumped all over that last conversation. And I've seen this kind of thing happen over and over again. And I'm asking you, pay attention to the fact that the enemy's trying to take a few moments in time and make your whole life feel like that's what this was all about, but it wasn't. You brought that child into this world. You loved that child when that child was making mistakes. You helped that child through learning to read and to write and to ride a bicycle and to, go to their first ballet thing or whatever. And you spent hours and hours cuddling, encouraging, comforting that child. And in a few minutes of bad decisions, when there was alcohol and drugs involved, things got out of hand. Do not let that moment override the beautiful memories of an entire lifetime. Life is too short, and the enemy would love for you to do that. You're going to have conflict in every relationship you have. It's inevitable. You even have conflict with God. We call that conviction. The only difference between you and God when there's issues and you and loved ones when there's issues is when it's between you and God, only one person is always wrong. That would be you and me, by the way, not God. So we have conflict in every relationship. And during the times of people's last moments, while we would want them to be loving and kind, oftentimes they are filled with hurt and pain because we love so much and because there's so much going on. So I encourage you, I'm imploring you, do not let a few moments or a few weeks, even a few months, even wrap up an entire lifetime and the enemy try to fill your rest of your life with regrets. Let it go. Let yourself off the hook. Realize you did the best you could with what you had. Yes, maybe you could have done things different. We all could have done things different, but we did the best we had with what we had at the moment. And so I'm encouraging you, get before God, forgive yourself, because if God's forgiven you, and He has, you need to forgive yourself. And you need to forgive them. They were not in their right mind, they were not at their best, and you need to forgive them. When we make that choice, our feelings catch up in time. Let the Lord heal your heart. Let the Lord take away your regrets and fill you with the beautiful memories you had of a lifetime with that individual. I love y'all so much. Looking forward to seeing you next Monday. If you think this would help somebody you're connected to, would you give me a thumbs up? Would you share it with them? We're almost at 2,500. I would love to get to 3,000 viewers, and we together would help continue to help thousands of lives. Look forward to seeing you next Monday.